All right, what's up, guys? It's been a while, and I just wanted to make a video, sort of channel update video, just to explain where I've been, what the state of this channel is, and yeah, let's get down to it. So, most of you know, the few people who actually watch my videos know that I'm at college now. I'm actually studying film, and because of that, I've sort of been lacking time to make these reviews recently, and obviously I want to keep making them. So I'd say the important thing that I want to say is that I'm not stopping the channel. I'm going to keep making videos, which I hope is a good thing for people. Again, not many people watch these videos, so to whoever I am talking to, I hope this makes you happy, because it makes me happy, because I love talking about movies and stuff. So you might recognise that I'm actually at home right now because it's Columbus Day weekend, and I brought all my recording stuff with me because I actually had it at college, because I do hope to make videos at college whenever I get a free second. But yeah, I thought this would be just the opportune moment to make a channel update video. And I also want to talk about some films that I've missed this year, or in these past couple of months that I haven't been making videos. So let's talk about The Lion King. Yeah, why not? The Lion King is another Disney live-action remake, and I went to see it with my girlfriend, and she likes Disney very much, and she's more of a fan of the original Lion King than I am. I have to confess, I've only seen the original Lion King once, and I was very little, and I don't really remember much about it, but obviously I know the general story, because it's basically Hamlet with animals. But anyway, let's talk about the actual live-action remake. I didn't like it that much. I saw nothing wrong with it, but it was basically a shot-for-shot remake with a few tiny differences of the original. The voice cast were fine. People talked about how Seth Rogen and Billy Eichner as Timon and Pumbaa were the highlights, and sure, they were fine. They were funny when they were on screen, but it wasn't like, oh wow, this is, they're scene stealing. The songs, same songs. I suppose there were a few new ones. Beyonce sings some new songs. That was quite distracting because it was obviously just Beyonce. It wasn't really Nala. It wasn't the character. The Lion King just didn't do much for me. I felt nothing while watching it. Some of these live-action remakes, my favourite is Beauty and the Beast. I think I've said that before. Some of these actually do something with the source material, but The Lion King was just an excuse to show off what we can do with technology these days. And to be fair to the animators, they did a fantastic job. This is groundbreaking photorealistic animation. However, it also meant that the animals can't show emotion, because animals in real life, they don't have expressive faces. So when young Simba is watching, can I spoil this? I think I can. So when young Simba is watching Mufasa fall to his death, and he says no, that's, oh no, like, is he actually watching his dad die, or is he just reacting to something mildly unpleasant? So that's the thing, that's the double-edged sword with the groundbreaking photorealistic animation. It looks great with landscapes when the animals aren't talking, but when they actually have to show emotion, and this is a pretty emotional story, it just doesn't really work out, because animals can't emote. That's the point. I felt nothing while watching it. I felt that it was entirely unnecessary. No emotional reaction from me whatsoever, because it's just the original Lion King with a fresh coat of paint, and the ending felt really rushed. I'm not sure if that's something to do with the original. I haven't actually rewatched the original, but the ending felt really rushed. It ended very abruptly, and I don't know, it was fine. It looks great when the animals aren't emoting, and at the centre of the story, it's still really interesting. There's still that really great conflict. There's that really great framework in the story, and there are moments when they tweak a few things in this new film where you actually do get a sense of, the compelling story there. But it was just way too distracting, because it was just the original Lion King with new actors who did a fine job, but it didn't really have any reason to exist. It did nothing new, really. this new animation, photorealistic, groundbreaking animation, can be used elsewhere in better things. So yeah, those are my thoughts on The Lion King. I'll give it a C. It's fine, didn't need to exist. I don't need to see it ever again. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Let's talk about that, because I had a better experience with that. Quentin Tarantino's 9th film. I don't think it's quite sad that he's only going to do 10 films, because he's just one of the best directors, really. I know he has people who don't like him as much as I do, but to me, he's made one of the greatest films of all time in Pulp Fiction, and I know that it's just one of those things that people say that Pulp Fiction is one of the best films of all time. I could watch Pulp Fiction every day and not get bored. I could listen to Pulp Fiction as an audiobook and not get bored. But I'm not talking about Pulp Fiction. I actually made a Pulp Fiction video, if you want to scroll back through my videos over the years. But anyway, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Leonardo DiCaprio took a 5-year acting hiatus. The last film he made before this was The Revenant, and he took a break, and he's back, and he's with Brad Pitt, who's having a great year, by the way. I'm trying to review Ad Astra very soon, but they play two friends. Leonardo DiCaprio is this aging actor. He thinks that he's past his prime. He once had this main role on a famous TV show, but now he's sort of doing cameo appearances in TV shows, and he hasn't really landed a great film role in a while. He thinks his career's dead. Brad Pitt plays his loyal friend and stuntman, and it's basically about their adventures in 1969 Hollywood, at the same time that Sharon Tate is getting involved with Charles Manson and his crew. And before this film came out, there was all this speculation about how Sharon Tate and the Manson murders would tie into this new fictional story, and I can say that the way that they do is complete fantasy, in the same way that Inglourious Basterds was. I love when Tarantino does revisionist history, because something about changing history just really appeals to me, because it's unpredictable. You don't know what's going to happen. So anyways, let's talk about it. This film was a mixed bag for me, but I certainly enjoyed it a lot more than The Lion King. It's a very long film, and some people would call it boring, and I don't know. I don't want to call it boring, because boring is a very harsh word, and for a film that I appreciated this much, I don't want to call it boring. I'll use a big boy word. I'm going to say that parts of this film were somewhat uninvolving, as in there are large sequences of this film where it's just characters hanging out and talking, and the film doesn't seem like it's going anywhere. And the main problem that I had with this film was that it just lacked momentum. Lots of it is just characters hanging out and talking, and we get lots of great scenes of Tarantino's dialogue. Tarantino has made a career of great dialogue, out of his great dialogue. But in this film, I think that it just didn't serve the story very well. It's basically a hangout movie. Characters just sit or stand and talk about what's going on. And there are a few fantastic sequences. The ending I absolutely loved, and there are a few scenes with Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt where they're just talking, and it's great. Leonardo DiCaprio has a fantastic scene by himself where he's beating himself up about the fact that he's past his prime and he can't act the way that he used to. There are some great scenes. There are some great moments of dialogue. There are some really funny, just weird one-off tangents that the film goes down. The film looks great, and I love the whole environment and world that Tarantino created. You can just tell that he loves this time period, this moment in history, this moment in Hollywood, and it really is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It's a fairy tale. It's just straight fantasy, and the ending ties into that, but I won't spoil it. But honestly, this film has been out for a few months. I'm sure you've seen it by now if you're watching this video. So yeah, I loved lots of it, but the crucial thing for me is that there was no sense of momentum. Nothing seemed to really go anywhere, and for some people that would be okay, but in my honest opinion, the film didn't really work in the way that I hoped it would. So I'm going to give Once Upon a Time in Hollywood a B-. Great performances, a few great scenes, but it was just a bit too slow and leisurely paced for my liking. Again, it has a handful of great scenes, especially the ending. The two lead performances are fantastic. Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt are great, as always. I want to see them in more films. Brad Pitt especially, I think, is going to get an Oscar nomination. DiCaprio could as well. The Best Actor race this year is going to be interesting because there isn't really a shoo-in like there is most years. And Margot Robbie as Sharon Tate, when she's in the film, which isn't that often, she's a welcome presence as well. And lots of different faces pop up. And this is Luke Perry's last film, and as a Riverdale fan, it was just nice to see him again. So yeah, those are my thoughts on basically everything that's happening right now. Those are two films that I didn't get to review when I watched them because I was busy with various things. And yeah, I gave you the channel update as well, and that's just how things are with me right now. I'll get back into reviewing films soon. I need to review It Chapter 2, Ad Astra, Joker, Gemini Man, so hopefully expect all of these coming soon. So yeah, if you've stuck with me, I really appreciate that. If you're watching this video, thank you. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever you want to do, and until the next time, goodbye.